What's going on, guys? This is Justin, and this is just going to be a UFC 142 recap and kind of wrap up for you guys. So we will start kind of looking at the prelims. Mike Pyle won very impressively very early into round one. Alcantara won via unanimous decision. Gabriel Gonzaga ended Oliveira with a rear naked choke, and Sam Stout actually lost to Thiago Tavares, unanimous decision, which was a surprise to me when I saw it. I didn't watch that fight, but I did think Sam Stout was going to win. But moving on to the main card, in my last picks video, with those picks, I went 4-1. Probably should have been 3-2, but I'll explain that in a second. The first was a lightweight bout between Edson Barboza and Terry Edom. Barboza did beat Edom, which was my only loss on the card. Knocked him out with a wheel kick 2 minutes into round 3. So that makes Barboza, I believe, 10-0 with 4 straight wins in the octagon, which is very, very impressive. They're going to have to start giving him the higher echelon guys, the bigger guys, and I really don't know how long they can wait to put this guy into a title contention fight, because he is 10-0, he is 4-0 in the octagon, so he's on a roll. Moving on, we had the welterweight bout between Eric Silva and Carlo Prater, which was the probably the worst disqualification I have ever seen in the UFC. I've watched a lot of UFC fights, but Eric Silva, pretty early on into the round, I believe it was close to 30 seconds in, knocked down Carlo Prater, was hitting him. It looked like maybe one hit the back of his head, but they called it, and Mario Yamasaki. We all thought Eric Silva won, but then Eric Silva got DQ'd, which is very interesting. I had actually picked Prater to win, so technically, yes, I do get that win. But, Eric Silva, I'm sorry, that was horrible. Even Joe Rogan at the end of the fight watched the replay right next to Mario Yamasaki and asked him, how do you feel about this decision? And, he had to stand behind it, because if he didn't, he'd look even worse. So moving on, we have the middleweight bout between Rousimar Palhares and Mike Macenzio. Palhares, I picked him to win. He is a beast with his heel hooks, his leg hooks. He's built like a bodybuilder. He got Mike Macenzio to the ground, wrapped up that leg, and Macenzio did not stand a chance. Tapped within about 5 seconds of Palhares locking up that heel hook. So pretty impressive there by Palhares. Moving on to what was a catchweight bout at 197 pounds. Anthony Johnson did not make weight, so Vitor Belfort gained 20% of his purse, and apparently Joe Rogan quoted the numbers, and Anthony Johnson at the time of the fight weighed 211, and Vitor weighed 206. Anthony Johnson started off the round very good. He was striking really well with Vitor, got on top of him a couple times, but the ref stood them up very, very quickly when Anthony had Vitor on the ground. He was in full guard and he wasn't doing a lot, but he stood them up very, very quickly. But Vitor, who was my pick to win, came back, flattened out Anthony Johnson, and finished him off with the rear naked choke with about 10 seconds left to go in the round. And then moving on to the fight that just happened a couple minutes ago was the featherweight championship. We had Jose Aldo, my pick to win, and he was fighting Chad Mendes. Pretty decent start to the fight. Chad Mendes was throwing a couple leg kicks, so was Jose Aldo. They were exchanging strikes. But then Chad Mendes had Jose Aldo up against the fence. Took him down for a little bit, or tried to take him down, then took him down for a little bit. And then Jose got back up, and Chad still had his back. Jose kind of spun around, kicked him straight to the face, dropped him to the mat and finished him off with 2 punches straight on. 1 second left to go in the round. He got that KO. Very, very impressive. I don't know who they're going to put up against Jose Aldo. He's just tearing through the competition. Big talk of him being moving up and not moving up weight classes, but moving up on the ladder, so to speak, as one of the top pound-for-pound fighters in the world. And at the end of that fight, Jose Aldo ran immediately out of the octagon, jumped into the crowd, and security had to come over there, put him on his shoulders, and get him over there. And then security would just not let go of him. It looked like Jose Aldo could just run around the entire stadium, do some crazy crowd surfing and stuff like that. But, security was right on top of it. Luckily, a riot didn't ensue or anything like that. But this was just a quick recap of UFC 142. I will be putting up my UFC on Fox predictions. Look for that. Also, feel free to subscribe. Actually, subscribe button's up there. So, thanks for watching, guys. Peace out.